Lofinity is the latest plugin by GMG Sound under the United Plugins umbrella. This plugin, just as the name says, is all about getting lo-fi sounds. But I feel that the potential of this plugin is let down by the actual interface, and I'll talk about that during this video. Lofinity gives you over 100 effects when you open the Algorithm tab. These effects are ordered in 6 categories and you get 2 slots per group with individual level and blend control. This results in an almost infinite amount of combinations, or algorithms as GMG Sounds calls them. The sounds you get range from weird and extreme to useful and anything in between. Here are some of the presets on drums to give you an idea. The presets are absolutely more on the extreme side, and it's best to test out this plugin on your own audio. This preset selection bar has its issues. You have to be pretty precise when using the arrows. Below it does nothing. Scooping just a bit to the left will open up the menu. This happened to me many times during testing and this was quite annoying. The big knob controls the overall effect amount. It basically controls the level of the effects. You also get a level input and output slider and level controls for the effects alone and level controls in the effects. These all overlap quite a bit and I think a more simplified approach would have been much better. All these level controls have nothing to do with the dry-wet control, because that is a separate control as well. Now when you use the dry-wet mix dial, there's a big chance you run into phasing issues. And to United Plugins credit, they do mention this in the manual. I'd rather don't have a dry-wet balance knob than one that gives you phasing issues. The hi-fi lo-fi dial is actually the one you will be using 99.9% of the time anyway. The effects can be placed in any order you want here below. And I have my thoughts on how this is implemented as well, but that will come. Now you don't have to go into these complex combinations all the time. Using just one of the effects will be rewarding. You have to dive in the menus to find the effects you like and want to use. Another way to find a new sound is to use the randomize buttons. For full randomization, make sure to have all groups enabled. You can also randomize just one of the effects. For that, you have to select that effect from another menu. I want to go a little deeper on my issues with the interface, besides the points I already mentioned up until now. What I consider the most important part of the plugin, the algorithm tab, is only about 1/3 of the total size of the plugin. The actual switch to open this tab with this description is half of that. When you close the tab, you get the name of the plugin taking up that 1/3 of the total interface. The priorities of what is important seem off for me. The visualizer does nothing what helps you in using the plugin. It tells which effects are on and how much level is used, but not the actual order, and you have no idea which effects are used. The algorithm tab needs to be open at all times. So the visualizer has no use whatsoever, and the open tab switch is pointless because of that. The section with the visualizer and hi-fi lo-fi knob is also 1/3 of the plugin. That's a lot of wasted space. For me, it feels like this plugin started out as a one knob type of plugin, and later on more functions were added without going back and reconsider the actual concept of the plugin. When you remove all the gunk, focus on the important parts and start over, you could have a plugin concept like this and build from here. But you might have a totally different opinion than me, let us know in the comments. The intro price is $15 and that will give you a lot of effects to work with for sure.